Okay, percent problem 7.6. We're gonna specifically talk about percent change. So get out your notes. All right, remember to listen when I talk. Okay, I'll give you time to talk with your groups. Okay, because if you don't do that, if you don't follow that rule, guys, it doesn't work. It's very hard for me to teach. Okay, so I want you to think about this for a second. I have a question. If something costs $100 and it went down to $70, like you're on Amazon.com and you wanted to buy this thing, yeah, and then you're looking for the price and like you saw this thing, it was $100 yesterday. Today it's 70. What's the percent change? Yes, sir. 30%. Now, is it 30% decrease or increase? Decrease. That's right. So, well, we call it marked down. I don't know if you guys heard of it, but think about it. Marked down. It was marked down. It was lower than before, and also we could say it as 30% discount, right? I think a lot of you are aware of that. So you were going to buy it, but then you couldn't do it. You forgot. So the next day you went online, and you know how it was to be $100? It jumped to $130 now. Yeah. So what is this then? This is called 30% increase is correct. Okay. Or you could say it marked up. Okay. So something could be marked up or marked down, marked up. Okay. So or 30% increase. So this is kind of easy to actually figure out, right? Because why was it easy to figure out the percent increase or decrease on this? Yes, sir.
Because we're using 107.
107?
Well, 100 is the
Right. It's because it's $100, right?
yeah.
So original price was $100. It was easy for us to figure out the actual percent increase or decrease. Okay. Guess what we're going to be working on? Is it always going to be $100? You think? No.
Oh,
So
is that our homework?
yeah. So this is going to be your homework, where it's not going to be always $100. It's going to be something not like something else, not $100. But if it's $100, it's easy. You see that? Let me ask you this though. What if something went from $130 to $100? So your original price was $130. It went down to $100. Is this 30% decrease?
No.
No, it's not. Why not? Very good. I'm glad you guys realize this. Derek, why is this not 30% decrease?
Because the total is greater than 100.
Yeah, the total is greater than 100. It's not 100 anymore. So I want you to understand. We could actually figure this out in a minute. We're not going to do the same exact one, but it's not 130. Don't write 30% decrease. You know what I mean? Sometimes people want to just do that because they see the 100 and then went to 130, right? What's important is the original price. Does that make sense? Okay. So please note that just because there's a $30 difference, it doesn't necessarily mean 30% right increase or decrease. It really depends on your original price. Does that make sense? All right. So now I'm going to then show you then how do we then figure out the percent change. I'm going to let X be the percent change. If the original price isn't always 100, right? You know that original price doesn't have to be 100 every time. So how do you figure this out? Well, here is the formula, okay? So the percent change is X over 100. So X is the percent change. So the way we get this is X over 100 is equal to change in price over the original price, okay? So write that down. So give you time. By the way, how do you find the change in price, guys?
Oh.
Yeah.
By subtracting.
By subtracting what and what?
The well, if it's a marked down, then the original price from the new price. And if it's a markup, then the new price from the original.
Exactly. That's why I wrote down new minus original price or original minus new. It depends on whether it's marked down or marked up, right? Right? It depends. Do you understand? But you basically subtract the two numbers, right? Big number minus smaller. You know what I mean? And then you have to have it under original. I even wrote a star here. Can you put down new price underneath? No. You're always comparing it with the original price. Is that okay? So go ahead and write it down. Make sure you understand, okay? Good. Shrug asked a good question. So for this one, when it wasn't $100, like if it was $130 that went to $100, right, marked down, how would you actually use this formula then to figure out the percent change if you had to do that? Let's write it down here. What would you do? So we're looking for this. X over 100 equals to what? If I was doing this problem right up above, equals to what? What's the change in price on this one? Yeah,
30.
30, right? Because it went from 130 to 100, right? So you do 130 minus 130 minus 100. So you get 30 over. Now, what is your original price? Well, this one right above here.
130.
Yeah, 130, right? So you can multiply both sides by 100 and figure it out. Does that make sense? You get the idea? So yeah, so we could figure this out if the original price isn't 100. It's possible to do it, okay? Okay, and we could actually, you want to do this, but you don't get a nice number, but let's do one where you get a nice number here. If I was doing it for the $100 to 130, it works out, you see? 100 over x over 100 equals to 130 minus 100, right? So you get 30% because you get x over 100 equals to 30 over 100. What's x? 30. So that's the 30% markup.
Wait, Mr. Wu,
Yeah.
if it's changing new minus original over
Yeah.
original price,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be x over 100 is equal to 30 over 130?
No. If I was doing, okay, so this one is for the second one. This one, $100 to $130. This one right here is for this one.
Oh.
If I went from $100 to $130, your original price is 100, right? So I just did the easier one. If you can actually figure this out, right? You get x equals to what? 3 over 13 times 100, which is 300 over 13, and whatever that you get, you divide. Okay, that's the percent change. If you wanted to do that, okay. And so you get some number that's not really. You get some fraction, right? So that's the answer for the third one. But if you were doing the second one, you would get just 30% right. I'm just showing that it works. Okay? Yeah.
I find like the way to do it, like, could try to find like what percentage is the change in price.
Right.
Just like 30, and like put 30 equals like x over 100 times 130.
Right.
So can you do that too?
Say it again.
I got 30 equals.
Which one are we looking? So which one? There are 3 problems. Let's do 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Third one.
So third one. Okay. Third one.
I got
Yeah.
a formula that was like 30 equals x over 100 times 130. Because 30 is.
Oh yeah. You could do it's that same thing. If you multiply both sides by 130, but don't you want to solve for x?
Yeah.
So x is equal to, right, that's the same thing. X equals to 3 over 13 times 100. That's basically what you get. Yeah, exactly. Okay, any other question? Is that okay? I'm just showing you, this is for that third problem, right? I mean, second one. I'm just showing you that this works for every, right? Even the simplest one. Okay. Let's do this one, example. Yeah, question?
So you have to subtract the new price from the original price?
Do you always subtract the new price from the original? No, it depends. If it's marked up, it's new minus original. But if it's marked down, then yeah, whatever bigger is, yeah. Because this change in price is always going to be positive. Does that make sense? Okay, let's do this one now. This one is very simple. It's not asking for percent change or anything. It's asking for simply, so write this down. Jen originally paid $6,500 for a car 3 years ago. The same car cost $7,400 today. For some reason, people want this car, I guess, went up the price. Now the question is just simply, what is change in price? Right, so this one is not even asking for. So the reason why I'm doing this, anybody know why I'm giving you this simple question? Yeah.
So you know how to find the change in price?
Exactly. You have to be able to find the change in price in order to figure out the percent change, right? So Sophia is correct. I just want you to know, do you guys know how to find the change in price? The answer should be yes. This is one of the easiest questions you will get. So what do you think we got to do? How do you find the change in price? It's nothing more than, yeah.
7,400 minus 6,500.
Exactly. You subtract the bigger number minus the smaller one, right? This time it's new minus the original, okay? Because it went up, the price went up. Or if the price went down, then you would do original minus. You see what I mean? It depends on what you have. So, yeah, what's the end? Isn't it 900? Okay, so there you go. The change in price is $900 increase. Okay, I think it's important to write increase, to let the readers know. Because if you just write 900, you don't know whether the price went up or down, right? So the change in price is $900 increase. And Sophia is correct. We need to be able to do this in order to find the percent change.
Is
Question?
the question gonna be on the quiz?
Oh, this coming up quiz? No. So,
It's not gonna be easy questions.
no, but I don't think I'm going to give you, even if I give you a quiz, something like, I will give you something like this. Check this out. Okay. If it'll be more like this. The real estate tax went from 1560 to 1638. Now, I'm asking for the percent increase. You see, ask. So go ahead, write this down. This is the kind of question that, so I just did the first one to let you know, you have to know that in order to figure out the percent increase or decrease. You have to figure out the change in price first. But go ahead, write this down. See if you could write this down. Let's do this one together, and then I'll let you do the other ones yourself. So the real estate, by the way, if you don't know what real estate tax is, don't worry, that's not the important part of this question. You just know that some money went from 1560 to 1638, okay? That you gotta pay. Does that make sense? So it just went from 1560 to 1638. They're asking, what's the percent increase? Okay, so what's our unknown, by the way, on this one? What do we want to know? Yeah, Anais? The percent increase. So let x to be the percent increase, sure. Do we know how to find percent increase?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just gave you the formula for it. What is it? Madeline, what was that? Right, you actually gave me the equation for it, but I just mean, what was the formula? It's just simply change in price, which is what you gave me, over the original price, right? And yes, Madeline gave me the right one. The change in price is what, class? How do you find the change in price?
Subtraction.
You subtract 1638 minus 1560. Isn't that what changes? So that's my step one. You need to find the change in price. Or you could just write it out here. And so you get 78 over 1560 equals x over 100. Or like I said, you could just write it out. Instead of writing 78, you could write 1638 minus 1560, but that's 78. This time it's pretty simple. Do you think this will change if I, instead of writing the original price, if I wrote 1638 in place of the original price? Would you get the right answer? No, you're not going to get the same answer. Okay, so you must compare the percent change to the original amount, right? Does that make sense? Yes? How do you solve this, by the way? How do you get x by itself, guys? Multiply both sides by 100, right? Isn't that, so x is being divided by 100. You multiply both sides by 100. Do you think it's a good idea to simplify the fraction if you can? Yeah, go ahead. Everybody try. See what you get. I'll give you time. And, to ask your group members if you're stuck or something. All right, who thinks they have the right answer for this? Yeah, Lara? Yeah. What'd you get?
I only got to the point where x equals 5, so...
Yeah, that's right. It is like so don't you multiply both sides by 100?
That's what I did.
Okay, so then things cancel out, right? Doesn't, well, 10 goes into 10 and 1560, right? And then what goes into 10 and 156? They're both even, so 2. So you get 5 over 78. Well, 78 over 78 is 1. You get 5, right?
I can do that. Can you?
Yeah, I'll wait. Right, guys? You multiply both sides by 100. What goes into 15, 60, and 100? Well, 10, right? And then, of course, 10 and 156, they're both even. 2 goes in. And nicely, you get 70, right? You get 5. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 2 goes into 156 78 times. So 78, 78, they cancel. You get 5. Right? By the way, so what does x represent? Percent change. So this is in percent already, okay? You don't expect to get 0.05 or something, right? This is already in percent, so I wrote this down. This is already in percent, right? Do you understand what I'm talking about? That it's already in percent? So the answer is what, class?
5%.
Yeah, 5% what? Increase or decrease?
Increase.
Increase, okay. So there was 5% increase, right? So that number that you get is in percent, okay? You don't have to convert it to percent again and get it wrong. Okay, question? Go up a little bit more? Okay, I'll wait, okay. Fine. Let's look at then, so this is 5%. Let's look at example 3. It's a little bit different than the example 2, but is really similar. The number of registered voters increased by 14% over last year. And if you don't know what registered voters are, that's not important. Okay, it's just something increased 14%. There are now 9,633 registered voters. How many were there last year? So that's the question. And you will first note the difference between second and the third example, right? Anybody see a difference here? This time they give you what? Yeah. They give you the percent increase, okay? Now they're asking for the one or the other number. Does that make sense? So this could be something like this could be on your homework or test. So write it down and see if you come up with the unknown. Can you declare your variable? Because this is important to declare the variable for this one correctly. Go ahead, do this. So what's our unknown for this one, Chansu? How many votes registered voters for last year? Is this the original or the new voters? This is your original. Do you think it's important to understand that this number we're trying to find is the number of the original voters, right? Because, right, it's really important to understand that this is, why is this the original one, not the new one?
Because last year.
Yeah, this is last year's. New, now we have 9633. Who could come up then? Who could come up with the equation, knowing what we just learned? How about one person? Anybody? Two people? Anyone else? Okay, two people. That's it. Come on. Yes, Talene, what do you think? Equation.
Oh, the equation is 14 over 100
Right.
equals 9,633 minus x over
X over X is. Oh, by the way, this is the formula we're using. Well, it's not price anymore, so I wrote down, right? Change in number. Huh? See, change in number over original number, right? So Talene is correct. How come it's not X minus 9633, guys? Why is it 9633 minus X? Yeah. Yeah, the number. This is a what? Increase, right? So therefore last year's number of last year people is less than what we have now. Okay, do we know how to solve this?
Yeah.
This is a fractional equation. You multiply both sides by the LCD. Savannah, what's my LCD? 100. 100x, right? Yeah, so multiply both sides by 100x. By the way, could I have simplified 14 over 100 first if I wanted to? That would have been nicer. But if you didn't, that's okay. 100 is not too bad. So here we get 14x equals to 100 times 9633 minus x. Distribute that and then get rid of the 100x from both sides by adding it, right? Because you have negative 100x. So don't you get 114x equals to 963300? All you have to do is what? Divide both sides by 114. I think it comes out to be 8,450. Okay, so here's the answer. There were 8,450 registered voters. Isn't that right? Yes? Okay, give you some more time for you to finish it up. Okay, go ahead. Okay, example 4, guys. This is actually from your homework. I'm going to give you some item and then say, okay, the original price of this item was $2.20. The new price we want you to find out, and there was a 15% decrease. Okay. How do we find X? So let's do this one together, and then I'll help you try. Yeah. Doesn't matter what item. You could put down any items you like there. Okay. So if something went from $2.20 and then it's 15% decrease, does anybody know how to find this X? Anybody? Raise your hand. One person. Two. Just two people. 3, 4, 5. Who haven't I called today? Owen, what do you think?
15 over 100 equals 2.2 minus x over x.
Over X? Is it going to be over X? Is the X the original price? Okay, so yes, you got 100, 15 over 100 is equal to, you have to find the difference, right, of these two prices. So obviously, because it's percent decrease, $2.20 is more. So yes, $2.20 minus x over what? Is it x or is it 2.2? 2.2, guys. Isn't that right? It's got to be over the original. Remember, you're always comparing these to your original amount, right? So go ahead and write that down and see if you can do that. So here it is. Let me see. So I'll give you time for you to try that one. Well, actually, let's do that one together. So, oops. No, it's not. It's just, it's not hard. It's just, okay, so do you see how this is 15%, right? Increase 15 over 100 equals to the original minus the new over the original because it's price decrease, right? So what do? We should multiply. By the way, what's 15 over 100? What goes into 15 and 100, Maria? Maria? Okay, Maria, what does that become? Shh. Yeah, so 5 goes into 15 how many times? Yeah, so what does 15 over 100 become when you simplify? Good, you get 3 over 20. And so if you get 3 over 20, shouldn't you multiply both sides by the LCD? Right? What's my LCD? Well, 20 times 2.2, isn't that right? You get that? Okay, so when you do this, what does the left side become when you multiply both sides of this by LCD?
6.6.
Raise your hand. The left side is, yes?
6.6.
6.6 because 2.2 times 3, isn't that 6.6? What about right side? What does that become, John? The right side, the 2.2 cancel out. You get 20 times what, John? The right side. You know how the 2.2 and the 2.2 get canceled out? So you get 20 times what? No, when you simplify the right side, what do you get? The 2.2 and 2.2 cancel out, right? So what do you end up getting? 20 times 2.2 minus x, right? Right, John? Okay, what do I do, John, after this? How do you distribute? John, Matthew, tell me what to write. Let's distribute these things. What do I get? Let's simplify. Good. Right? Good. And then I multiply both sides by 10, right? Because I have some decimals. You don't have to, but I did. Go ahead. Tell me what x is. Everybody try. Should be able to figure this out. Okay, so did you all get? So after you, so of course you're going to gather the numbers, subtract 440. You get negative 374. Divide both sides by negative 200. What's the answer, class? X comes out to be?
1.87.
1.87, which means it's $1.87, right? Any question? Yes, sir.
Can you just multiply 2.2 times 0.87, 0.85? Because if you, because you're trying to 85% of 2.2, and you multiply 0.85 times 2.2, gets you 1.87.
Oh. So what?
No, like, he means like, why can't you just multiply the original price by like 85, 0.85, and like.
Oh, I see. Because you got 15%, right? Yeah. That works too. Except now, if they don't give you the original price, then you can't do it that way. Yeah, for this one you could do it. But so as you can see, very good question. The question is, well, guys, if you're getting 15% decrease from the original, he's saying, well, isn't that same thing as 85% of $2.20? Yeah. But well, can you do the same thing for B and C?
No.
Yeah. If they don't give you the original price, you can't do it that way. Okay. So try B and C now. But please note that B is still a decrease, but then C is an increase. You understand? Okay.
Does B say slam?
Shampoo.
Oh,
Shampoo.
oh, I didn't.
What's shampoo?
I didn't see the little thing on H.
Yeah, that's H. There's nothing. The items are not important. Okay. Go ahead. Tell me. Figure out X, Y, Z. Yeah. That's the best thing I could come up with. Saw. Okay. for B, anybody have the equation for B? It's decrease. One person? How about,
Caroline.
yes, Kristen.
5/100 equals y minus 209.
That's right. Shh, guys. Please. Okay, so yes, this is what we get, and of course multiply both sides by the LCD, which is 100y. When I do that, I get 5y equals to 100 times y minus 2.09, and I distribute, of course, to 100, and things, all the decimals go away. So when I subtract both sides by 100y, you get 95y negative equals to minus 209. Divide both sides by 95. Who has the answer? Yes.
Wait, but at the beginning, could you simplify it to 120?
Very good. In the beginning, if you simplify it to 1/20, it's a lot faster. Okay, well, not much. I mean, a little bit faster. Yeah. What's the answer, Helene?
$2.20.
Good. You get $2.20.
Noise.
Okay. By the way, you know this one too. If you really wanted to do it, like you could ask yourself, well, if y is the original price, and if you have $5 decrease, 5% decrease, you can multiply y times 95%, right? That should equal to 209, right? You could do it that way, but let's just keep it this way. Okay, I think it's easier. Okay, z. How do you find z? It's now increase. So do I do z minus 222, or is it 22 minus z, guys? Okay, please, for the z, last one is 22 minus z, right? The 10% increase. Okay, so you gotta, right? You gotta keep that numerator positive, right? Multiply. Okay, of course. What's 10 over 100, guys?
1/10.
1/10. So I multiply both sides by 10z. Did you all do this?
Yes.
Okay, so you get z equals to 10 times 22 minus z. You get. Did you all get 20?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I got. Okay, so you get 20 as your answer, right? Because, yeah, there you go. Any questions?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, if you didn't get 20, please check it with your group. Make sure you have 20. Here's the work, okay?